control and also with the data backup and also with the end-to-end quality of service at the core network layer, at the telecom core network, with the content delivery, with the PCRF and other advanced functions, which is enabled at the back end, which the end user or the government is not aware, which is enabled at the network layer by the operators, which makes it very powerful to have end-to-end reliable and a secure service. So as you know, Huawei also has a tie-up with Symantec for the cloud storage solution, which is able to complete the home and SOHO segment for personal online storage. It's able to address the business stuff it's able to address the wireless data users for personal mobile online storage application, and also for the enterprises and the government for the storage space rental. So that's the O&M, which is very important. So that's something all possible on one single platform for both public, private, and the hybrid clouds. So you have much better control on the service delivery. So this is just an architecture of we have the complete end-to-end service delivery platform, as well as the aggregation, core, data communication products, the storage devices, the virtualization servers, etc. Okay, so these are the unique advantages which we can derive. The full series of data center products, efficient virtualization, fully secure strategy, complete O&M, and a customized service as well. So let me just go to the last part now, just to conclude. In terms of the roadmap, we see that today we are having this virtual servers, a virtual SAN, and we are just moving towards more of a virtual switch and the IDC cloud computing service and IT system integration with the load migration. And then next year we will have more of a customized distribution algorithm and other advanced web application environment algorithms. So through years of R&D and accumulation of technologies, Huawei has developed and verified cloud computing technologies, and it's an integral part of our investment strategy. Currently, products are commercially available. Just touch upon quickly two cases. One is AT&T already acquired a company in US called USI and launched a cloud computing product as early as 2006. And they are offering it for enterprises, government alike. And it's been a very successful service. They've been able to, bring up the non-voice ARPU up to as high as 40-45%. This is very interesting. France Telecom, which will also provide a good example that they will start with, they will focus initially on the infrastructure as a service and then move towards platform as a service and then move towards software as a service towards the end, because based on the maturity of the business model. Of course, the scalability of the platform and the reliability is important while taking care of this upgrade. So that's the summary that for the Indian industry is the value chain comprising of the consumers, the service providers, the cloud computing infrastructures is very critical. And today we have a very mature ecosystem in India where we have, though the content players always want to keep a distance with the telecom operators for obvious reasons, this one telecom and IT converged area where there could be a win-win cooperation, because operators can focus more on the service delivery and content providers can bring in more customers and bring in revenues through advertising. The recommendation is, of course, to go for the infrastructure as a service, definitely to start with, all slowly towards platform as a service, and then finally towards SaaS. Thank you very much.